Hello everyone, and welcome once again to another episode of Dutchie Spills the Tea. In this fast-paced digital world, managing and deploying tags for marketing and analytics has become increasingly complex. In this, I'd like to see how far we've come and how far we still have to go, with perhaps a little deep dive into the evolution of tag management systems. Part 1. The early days of tag management. Before tag management systems, or TMSs for short, managing tags was worse than navigating a minefield while trying to kick a football. Marketers had to manually add and update tags directly in the website source code. Now, this process was not only time-consuming, but also highly error-prone. It required extensive technical knowledge, and even a single mistake could cause tags to misfire or even break the web page or website entirely. Imagine having to sort through hundreds of lines of code to find the right spot to place a little snippet or piece of tracking code embedded in a random button, a potential action, or every item for sale on a shopping page. In fact, try threading a needle while sitting on the back of a horse galloping down cobbled streets. It might be slightly easier. Anyway, that's an illustrative, but this manual process often led to delayed implementations as marketers had to rely on IT departments to deploy their tags. In some cases, it could take weeks or even months to implement a single one. So, what is a tag? Today, a tag is a small JavaScript snippet that loads a library and enables data tracking. Practically, it's the thing that collects, processes, and forwards website data to another destination. A tag is thus the medium by which most data is collected from a website. Data that power online marketing campaigns and web analytics systems. So in just a short few years, tags have grown in such popularity and ubiquity that the very basis of almost all informed decision-making regarding any online advertising campaign is now dependent on the data collected by these marketing tags. Tags of the third-party variety were among the first few that came into existence in the mid-90s, all in aid of ad servers and analytics packages to measure the efficacy of online marketing campaigns and website usage. Now, every third party and their dog has their own tag to be deployed on your website. It began small, as it always does, with simple tracking pixels, transparent images that are inserted into the page that are invisible to site viewers. Gradually, however, the Chrome-powered adoption of JavaScript evolved tags to collect a broad range of data. A snippet of JavaScript code is inserted into the source of each page of the website to be tracked. This code collects now a large amount of data per visit and then sends it to analytics engines and to your third-party advertising partners. There are several major advantages of JavaScript tagging, like asynchronous calling, customizability, easier implementation, and simple debugging. However, ease and customizability have also caused a veritable tag explosion. The internet, processing speeds, and related privacy regulations have had a hard time keeping up, meaning your browsing experience has been slowing down for a few years as the effort required to manage tags increases. And the battle for your consumer data adds more Zuckerbergs, Musks, Pages, Jungs, and the such like to the equation. Thank you for that not nearly as succinct as I'd hoped explanation around tags. Let's fast forward to the mid-noughties now, where bloat and blatant disregard for privacy were not hidden at all by the early .coms, and Netscape had just lost the First World Browser War. To address the issues of tags generally breaking sites or breaking their developers first, major ad networks introduced container tags, wrapping all of your tracking into a single container at the header of a site, and allowing control of when that code fires at specific events rather than at page load. Tracking became more complex, and stuffing more script into your site than a Christmas turkey for 10 was suddenly the norm. It is no wonder that performance issues started to seriously cripple early e-commerce sites at the time. Don't forget that at this juncture, we were also deep in the throes of the Second World Browser War. Differing standards across the standard Internet Explorer, if you've ever heard of that one, Safari, Firefox and that upstart Chrome, as well as different devices, were bringing web developers to their knees. It was here that the first knights in shining armor appeared. Tag management systems, again TMSs for short, such as Telium and Google Tag Manager, emerged in the early 2010s to address these very challenges. These platforms provided a user-friendly interface for managing tags, allowing marketers to add, update, and remove tags without touching the website's source code. This innovation significantly reduced reliance on IT departments and enabled faster implementation of marketing and analytics tools. An interesting fact to just add here, according to a 2012 study by Forrester Research, the average enterprise was already using 20 or more tags on their website at this point, highlighting the complexity of tag management before the advent of tag management systems. Part 2. The evolution of tags and tag management. So, as digital marketing evolved, so too did the complexity of tags. Marketers began using a wide variety of tools, from web analytics platforms like Google Analytics to advertising networks and social media pixels. Tag management systems adapted to support these new tags, offering features like tag templates and third-party integrations. Yet another wrinkle presented itself right here. Well, more of a full-on crease, actually. Mobile apps and single-page applications, or SPAs, changed the game profoundly by doing away with traditional tagging altogether. These days, many websites act more like apps, loading everything on one single page. Thankfully, systems like Adobe Launch and Insighten developed the first mobile SDKs, or software development kits, and support for SPAs to ensure accurate tracking across all of these new digital touchpoints. But here's the thing, the internet got faster. Browsers were able to handle vast amounts more data, and websites could take advantage of this by loading more tags onto a single page. We fell back into some of the old habits that I've just described. Just like in the mid-noughties, instead of simplifying the tagging landscape, things just got more complex. Every vendor wanted a piece of the data pie, resulting in proliferation of tags on websites and ultimately a sluggish and unsettlingly insecure user experience. Now, I don't know about you, but sharing my browser experience on beardandteaproducts.co.uk with hundreds of other advertisers never really felt quite right. Today, many publishing or e-commerce websites still manage and maintain between 50 and 100 tags on their homepages. And that's not including ad networks piggybacking on or chain loading from existing tags on those sites. This applies mostly to my European compatriots, but have you ever actually read the list of third parties in the consent banner on a newspaper website, for example? Not only is it like reading an essay in a foreign language, the notion of informed consent goes completely out of the window when you can't fully understand who is collecting your data and reading it and why. With so many tags, they can ensure that consumers are adequately captured on the website and marketed to, but do you really think that data can be securely or even responsibly managed when it's hard enough to just keep track of how many tags are on a page? Slightly interesting statistic here, a 2020 study by Datanyze found that Google Tag Manager was the most widely used tag management system, with a market share of 48.4%, followed not so closely by Adobe Launch at 13.8%. Consolidation and monopoly like that, I think, are ripe for overturning, don't you? Part 3. Browser changes and the future of tag management. As we look to the future of tag management and data collection in a privacy-focused world, it's clear that there are changes on the horizon. The traditional TMSs that I've mentioned are nigh on 15 years old now, and we all know that internet years are kind of like dog years. So perhaps it's time to finally put them to pasture. They still rely pretty heavily on third-party cookies, thus they're becoming less effective due to browser privacy initiatives like Safari's Intelligent Tracking Prevention or Google Chrome's Apple's oft-delayed plan to phase out third-party flavor cookies. These changes, whilst they protect user privacy, put hurdles in the way of marketers who depend on tracking users across domains and across devices for targeted advertising and personalization. To address these very challenges, TMSs are evolving to leverage first-party data and server-side tracking. Server-side tag management, offered by platforms like MetaRouter or Google Tag Manager themselves, allow businesses to move tag execution from the browser to their own servers. Now, this approach reduces reliance on cookies and improves website performance by minimizing the number of client-side tags, or in MetaRouter's case, removing them entirely. Server-side tracking also enables businesses to collect data in a fully first-party context, giving them greater control over their own data and ensuring compliance with privacy regulations like the dreaded GDPR and CCPA. However, the future may see a total shift away from the very idea of tag management. As browser privacy measures continue to restrict third-party tags, organizations are likely to need to adopt a tagless approach to maintain control over their data collection processes. In this scenario, businesses would focus on collecting data exclusively in a first-party context, using methods such as server-side tracking, first-party cookies, and APIs. Client-side tags, if at all present, would only be maintained for essential purposes like DOM manipulation or specific functionality that just can't be achieved through a server-side method. To ensure feature parity with today's data collection landscape whilst maintaining a privacy-centric approach, the businesses will probably need to invest in developing pretty robust first-party data strategies. Now, this could involve some things that I've already mentioned, but first off, implementing a customer data platform to unify and manage first-party data from various different sources, leveraging, like I've said, server-side tracking and APIs to collect data directly from user interactions without relying on third-party tags, first-party cookies, and local storage to store necessary data within the user's browser, ensuring compliance with privacy regulations, and providing clear and transparent privacy policies, and offering users control over their own data, such as the ability to opt out of tracking or request data deletion. And following on from that, enforcing consent, the origin of data collection. Also having a data transformation layer for in-flight data to enable the same data in multiple formats to reach multiple destinations simultaneously without error or issue. And then lastly, probably collaborating with industry partners and organizations to develop new standards and best practices for privacy-centric data collection and management. Adapting data collection and management strategies in this way also enables organizations to prioritize privacy without sacrificing any customer insights needed to deliver personalized experiences and drive business growth. I mean, if you can make it all about the customer, their experience, and their safety, and yet not lose out as a business, well, why not make the change? So, to finish up, I needn't really tell you that the evolution of tag management systems has been a total game changer for digital marketers over the last 15, 20 years. From the early days of manual tag implementation to the current era of server-side tracking and AI-powered insights, these systems have continuously adapted to meet the needs of business organizations in an ever-changing digital landscape. As we move forward, the future will probably require people to go tagless, prioritizing first-party data collection and reducing reliance on client-side tags. But it will be exciting to see how businesses navigate this new reality and continue to leverage data for effective digital marketing. The hope is that people can actually maintain that balance. Sitting in this chair, talking about tags and also being on the side trying to modernize or even remove them rather than just manage them, I feel pretty confident. Confident enough even to rock this moustache and suit combo. Pip pip hurrah and all that.